Welcome everyone to Recom247.com. I'm Zach Long. This is Daniel Pauling, getting you ready for the February 4th National Signing Day in football. Very fluid right now, isn't it, Daniel? Coaches off of dead period. They're out there pursuing a lot of targets, but unfortunately, we have some bad news to report right off the bat.
Yeah, Darion Jackson decommitted today. He had his official visit this past weekend, and every time you talk to a recruit, oh, my official visit was great. Texas Tech was great. I love the coaches. I love the players. I loved everything. I love, you know, they're going up there. They're my favorite now. This was the exact opposite. I spoke with his dad earlier today, and he said, look, Darion just didn't feel it with the players, didn't feel a connection. The coaches were great. The coaches treat us well, but there was just not that connection with the players. So as they drove back, they talk about decommitting, and that decision came down this morning, Monday morning.
And that's why those visits are extremely crucial for these kids. Still a few days left here, Daniel. Do we see any possible replacements that they could plug in with where he left?
Yeah, there's 15 more days until signing day, but there's a couple of other kids they might be looking at the safety position. Tech said they were hoping to add 3 defensive backs. This recruiting class, that was before the new hiring of David Gibbs and Zach Svavadal. So it kind of remains to be seen, you know, do they want to add more than 3, less than 3? That's kind of up in the air, but they said their goal was 3. Possible replacement at safety might be Erico Evans, who was also making an official visit this past weekend. He was a KU commit, right? Or he's a KU commit right now. Also plans to visit Arkansas and TCU. We'll see how Tech kind of competes with for him. And Brandon Scott is a guy who is a 3-star safety from out of Louisiana. He's been on Tech's radar. He's been kind of one of those kids who's, you know, had Tech up there, but they haven't really invited him out here. Or contact maybe hasn't been too much, so he might not be quite on their radar, but he might be a guy they fall back on just because, hey, there's 15 days until signing day.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, where does this class stack up right now with just a few days left?
It doesn't look too good. There are 15 commitments right now. That obviously includes Braden Fajoko, who's already enrolled. They have the number 46 class in the country, but 3 decommitments. Jarrett Stidham, Carlos Strickland, and now Darion Jackson has dropped that from about 25 to 27 to number 46. So with 15 days to go, they have to add a kid about every other day, and that's not going to happen, I don't think.
No.
So they might be looking in the summer for a guy like Sam Matoye, who might be going, hey, who might not qualify somewhere else, but maybe they can sneak him in at the last minute. But yeah, this is definitely not looking good for Texas Tech right now, just with how many decommitments they've had. 3 is not a huge number, but when you lose, you know, 2 of your 3 best players and a guy at a position that's not deep, and Darion Jackson at safety, that's not good at all.
Well, let's continue our Bad News Bears tour of Texas Tech football recruiting. A year ahead in 2016, we have a kid wavering right now.
Yeah, Tristan Wallace, he's a 4-star dual-threat quarterback over at DeSoto. He actually is being looked at Texas Tech as a wide receiver. Cliff Kingsbury offered him the scholarship, was his main recruiter, and all of a sudden, things aren't looking too good. You know, he's talked about Ohio State as one possibility. He said, look, I'm not telling anybody no right now. He told Cleveland.com that. I still have my senior year, so it's not like I've crossed out Ohio State off my list or anything. So that definitely does not sound good for Texas Tech. He told me he plans to make visits during the rest of his high school career. It was kind of a surprise when he committed, as you know, early January of his junior season was kind of a little bit early in the recruiting process, especially when you've got offers from Nebraska, Ohio State, and a lot of other good quality places. You know, when you're as successfully as he is, especially at a program like DeSoto that is, you know, pretty much just a factory of D1 kids. Ohio State has also hired Nebraska's Tim Beck as its offensive coordinator, which is Beck was the first guy to offer Wallace. So he's going from Nebraska to Ohio State. That's another thing in Ohio State's favor.
Absolutely. But a lot of time left on that one. And this Texas Tech coaching staff is not done fighting. There are still a few days here before February 4th. We promise it's not going to be this damn depressing tomorrow. We're going to go over some of the visits that happened this weekend and some of the activity Tech coaches are up to. Hopefully a little bit more positive news, right?
I think so.
Absolutely. Well, guys, keep locked into Daniel Pauling, Recom247.com. Get on Twitter. Follow him. Things are going to become very fluid over the next few hours and next few days. You want to be first to know, Recom247.com and Daniel Pauling. For now, though, that's going to wrap up our look at the state of Texas Tech football recruiting. We'll be back tomorrow with more information. That's Daniel Pauling. I'm Zach Long. You're on Recom247.com.